Hello and welcome to the Walk in Love podcast. I'm TJ.
And I'm Brooke.
And today we're going to talk about living a full life and not just a busy life. Thank you for listening. Thank you for making us a part of your week. Thank you for watching on YouTube. Pointed to my screen, not to the camera. That feels embarrassing. So
Somebody should call YouTube. See if we can get him down here.
I'll see if I can get YouTube to delete that part and edit it in. So maybe I'll CGI me pointing to the right spot.
It's just like a tiny hand. Wait, going the wrong way.
Just the emoji hand. We are back at the table. So we were at the desk, no budget, brought in some chairs. Didn't really work well because we couldn't get around the office. So we're back at the table. We're slowly discovering as at episode 134 that I think we got it. Yeah.
Still not a lot of confidence, though. You think we got it.
We don't totally have it. I just think that we may have it.
Yeah. Can I have it?
So we also are trying no headphones.
It takes me a minute to get used to.
Which
I'm
just
in
like,
the current
okay,
minutes
yeah,
of
here we
not
go.
being used to it.
Here we go. It's like
I feel very blessed.
that's kind of how it feels. It's like,
Kinda.
oh, this is nice not having headphones, and then you're like, is anything I'm saying making noise? Or
I also think it's why I was confused last week that we were recording.
yeah,
It just doesn't feel as official without
you
him. I'm just holding on to my mic stand. Does that look real weird in the video?
holding on. Okay, first I got a few news things that I'm going to get through, and then we will talk about some things today. Probably a shorter episode today because Brooke's parents are in town, and we don't know how long we have until Daisy wakes up and Brooke has something going on tonight. She's just like got a lot going on. So first things first, the tea of the month is live. Brooke is wearing the sweatshirt. I'm wearing the t-shirt. It says, be kind to others, be kind to yourself. It's from the Vault. It comes on 3 different items. The gray sweatshirt with like a pinkish ink, this dark gray, like a light gray sweatshirt, dark gray t-shirt with like a yellowy ink.
Yellowy green, yeah.
And then a natural t-shirt with like an orangish, tannish,
Caramel.
caramelish.
Is it color caramel or camel? Like
I
when
think you
when
can
you
have
get
both.
leather. Like, do you know which specific leather color I'm describing? Like that chair that used to be in the corner of our living room?
Yeah, it'd be camel.
Camel.
Like it's not made from a camel,
No.
but it's like,
I would say that this is then camel, maybe. No?
I don't know. I think you're way off on that, but
Okay.
I'm just going to let it slide. Okay, so Tea of the Month is live. You can shop right now. You got the password last week, so hopefully you took your opportunity for 1 day early access. As a podcast listener, if you use the code BeKind, you will save a little extra at checkout just to say thank you for listening to the podcast every week. The other thing that's happening right now is we're having 2 live events when we're back in Pennsylvania for Christmas. December 22nd, that one is sold out. And then we added a date, December 23rd, that has 14 tickets left. So the tickets are on sale. They're linked in the show notes or they're on our website. And yeah, you can buy one if you want to come. If you don't want to come, then don't buy one.
I was going to fill that in
That's
for
my
you.
sales pitch.
I was like,
If you want to come,
buy a ticket.
I go online, I go click, click, click.
Yep.
And then, yeah, we'll see you there. We're excited. Someone's like, so what's the event going to be like? And I was like,
We'll
that's
find out when we
that's
get there.
a really good question.
Similar to this podcast.
The other news is that the summer collection has shipped. All but like 20 orders, I believe, have shipped.
Okay.
And usually it's like the 20 orders. Like there's always like a few orders that are either we don't have a full address or the zip code was wrong or some
Something.
variable that you're just like, that's just kind of the way it is. But 99% of them have shipped, which is awesome. Our goal was to ship from July 25th through August 9th.
Whoa.
And we finished
It's not
those
even
super
August.
early. So it feels pretty good. And then the next announcement is that the fall collection is coming out in 26 days. 25 days when this podcast comes out,
word.
August 25th. And here's the thing.
Yeah, how's this?
I have no idea what it is.
What you ordered?
Like, I think we are in this month of like, your parents are here, your brother's
I looked at it. I remember it.
Yeah, like
you showed me on your screen, and I said, that looks great.
Yeah, and
do it.
But I think it's just like, your parents are here, your brother's coming. We're in sort of summer mode of like,
yeah.
I took off the month of social media, so my work has felt very different.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not doing the like daily posting, and I'm working on things that are far out. Like not like far out, dude. Although some of them are
could be
a
far
little
out.
bit of both. Some
Should
are
we bring back far out?
Yeah.
The phrase.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Well, you gave me a confused look, like yeah, but
Yeah.
I don't know what you mean.
far out.
Far out.
Totally. So it's like far out in terms of time, but also like far out, bro,
Yeah.
in terms of awesomeness. And
Double.
so I don't know. I just feel like I obviously could find out what we ordered very easily, but part of me is like,
Okay, but right now in this moment between me and you, can you recall a single design?
yes, I know that one of the designs says "Speak Life" in like big block lettering. I know that there are
with the way. That one.
yeah,
Yeah.
like how you're trying to say it secretly through a microphone.
Well, people don't. I didn't finish my
Why
word.
waste
They don't know what I was
time?
saying.
Say lot word when few word do trick.
Yeah, and I think there's one that says "loved" with like arms. I think that,
We ordered that.
and then, but here's the
Okay,
thing. Here's
I
the
remember
thing.
that one.
So here's the thing: we always start like when I start designing a collection, it always starts like I'm making these hand motions. I have a double monitor computer.
Right.
It's always start with like a lot on both monitors.
Yes, but not everything makes
but
the
not
cut.
everything makes
So
the
I
cut.
get confused
So
as to what
I
makes the cut or
cannot
not.
remember
I
what
do
that
think you ordered
final-
that, though.
I think so too. And then there's definitely some reprints, because like people voted to bring things back. But for real, like normally
I'm like,
I'm
I don't
this
really
one, this
remember.
one, this one, this one. Like I know which ones, but right now I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. So
I think maybe something is
What are we
floral.
doing?
yeah,
That's a safe guess.
yeah. I don't think there's any originals. Oh, the embroider.
Oh, we
Now-
did decide that one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It's
Did
going to
we-
be a
did
great
we-
25 days from now. You will find out. We will all find out together.
That is nothing true has ever been said on this podcast. Yes, and I think I'm remembering.
Okay, so-
Yeah.
So yeah, August 25th, mark your calendars. There won't be any tea of the month in September because the collection will run through September 1st, and that
Right.
gets really confusing. Although one of the far out things that I'm working on could be big in 2023.
Mm-hmm.
We keep going back and forth. Although
I think we're gonna do it.
I think we're back to going forth.
Whoa.
How about that?
I
Okay.
think we should try it.
Should
Should we have
try it.
another cryptic conversation about it
Yeah,
here?
let's just try it.
Should we? I think there's a downside, but I think there's a real strong
I think
upside.
there's an upside.
So, I think
Yeah, I have a lot of questions. Number one, how dare you?
Okay, so we have not done a Mount Rushmore in a long time.
oh boy,
And so
tell me it's not of the collection that's coming soon.
here's what I want you to do. I want you to name your no. So I want to do a Mount Rushmore, 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 Rushmore of Mount Rushmore of
Oh, double call.
of movies.
Just like
just off
literally
the top
just
of, your
of
head,
movies. No category.
No category. What are 4 movies that you just
that I can
love?
think of. Oh, okay.
Or 4 titles that you
I can think of right now.
What are 4 movies that you love? And this is just doesn't have to be your favorite movies of all time, the most cinematic, the most, heartwarming. It can just be 4 movies that you love right now. One of my favorite movie critics, his name is The Critical Drinker. Check him out if you want to. He does say the F word a lot.
Yeah.
Just be prepared.
Be
prepared.
prepared. Bum, 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 bum. What?
But from a cinematic standpoint, we align.
Yeah, he nails it.
We're on the
He
same
just
page.
nails it with a lot of explicit words.
Yeah.
But
But
what he's saying is accurate.
Yes. And so I was watching this interview of him, and someone was like, what are your 4 favorite movies? Or top 5 favorite movies? And he answered, and he was like, but that could probably change next week. And I liked that idea that I'm not
Let's
asking you
hold it a little more loosely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not chiseling it into stone.
Well, we are. It's a Mount Rushmore.
Shoot. Did not think this through.
Think this.
I was like, oh, well, I guess I'm a loser. A loser.
Okay. Are you going to go first?
Well, I kind of surprised you with it. So
Yes, so you can go first.
Okay, I'll go first. For Mount Rushmore of movies that I just love watching, Back to the Future. Honestly, 1, 2, or 3. 1 and 2 probably more so, but I'm going to say Back to the Future 1.
Okay.
Lord of the Rings. Again, 1, 2, or 3.
Three?
I think I'd say 1 again. I don't know. They're all so good. Minority Report.
Solid movie.
Solid choice. And then the last one, maybe Date Night. Yes. Starring Steve Carell, Tina Fey.
And Tina Fey. And I was going to say the other actor's name, and then I got scared.
Common.
Thank you. I was like, not Ice. This is not the right guy. Okay, so mine would be maybe it's movies that I could watch at any time. That if it was on, I'd be like, yes, love this.
Yeah, you're
Keep
flipping,
going.
You find yourself in a hotel room that has cable. You're flipping through the channels.
Okay.
You land on TBS. This movie is playing on TBS.
And you're like, I'm going to watch this whole thing.
Yeah.
It's starting right now. These are the opening credits.
Yep.
Okay, so I would sit there and watch Date Night, of course.
Obviously.
Sweet Home Alabama.
Whoa.
Are you kidding me? It's in our purchase library.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Was Phoebe there?
I don't know.
Maybe Easy A.
Oh, I knew that. I would
It's
have put that one on your list if you had forgotten about it.
And number 4 would maybe be probably a Pixar. Like I'd go more just like
even though
kidsy.
we've seen them all now. Like
Yeah, but
7,000
it's
times.
'cause they're
Mine
really
is
good.
Turning Red, which is the worst.
Yeah, I know, but
Why aren't more people talking about
I don't
that?
know.
I'm going to just jump right into the next segment.
do you have a 4th movie for me?
I
I know there's other movies I would say, let's watch this. But
don't know.
my struggle is to think of them right now.
Okay. But you did a good job. You got 3.
Okay.
3 out of 4 ain't bad. You do
'Cause
like
we
the
own all
Fantastic
3
Mr.
of
Fox?
those. Maybe that's what I should do. But movies that we've actually purchased.
One of the Harry
I do think
Potters?
How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days is pretty funny.
Nice.
It's like the same time frame as Sweet Home
Sweet Home
Alabama.
Alabama.
Crawl the Warrior King.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just felt like Mount Rushmore needed some love.
Yeah.
And maybe you guys can let us know those 4 movies for you to remind Brooke of more movies that exist in the YouTube comments. And I feel like we should just ask why more people aren't talking about something.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, well, one, why aren't more people talking about how bad Turning Red is?
People are talking about it in person, just
Yeah.
not on the internet.
Yeah. It was so bad. But that wasn't my one for today. My one for today is why aren't more people talking about it? And maybe they are on the internet and I just haven't Googled it yet. How good the new GoPro is, footage-wise.
Mm.
And I know that people talk about it because you can be like, should I buy the new GoPro? And it's 4,000 videos of a guy telling you all the new things the GoPro can do.
Mm-hmm.
But man, we
It's
just
insanely better.
yeah. And
I
I
feel
guess
like it
that's
did-
because we have one that's 5, maybe 7 years old.
I don't think it's that old, but still.
No, because didn't Sam buy it for us for shooting our wedding?
What? That's that one? We haven't gotten one since then?
Maybe we have gotten one.
See, I thought
since
we
that one.
lost that one and we got a new one.
Okay. Anyways, the new one, and maybe because we're going, the gap is so big. I think that's a 7, and now we have 10, which means there's 3 GoPros in between.
Mhm.
I don't know how GoPro works. Well, I do. You can take it anywhere. But yeah, it's just that footage of that turtle swimming
Yeah.
And just like we've just been messing around with it lately. It's just really good. And I guess that's what happens to technology. It gets better. Except for modern day CGI. Why aren't more people talking about that? Again, people are on the internet, but I guess I digress.
Yeah. I don't know if I have one
Okay.
right
All
now.
right. So, do you have any game changers?
I
Wait.
hate to.
Game changers. Changes to the game such that the game can never be played the same way again.
I feel like that scene in Parks and Rec when Andy and April are about to get married, and Andy's talking to Leslie, maybe, and he's like, I can't emphasize how little we've thought about this.
You mean this, Andy?
Unfortunately,
Butter is my favorite food.
that is how I feel right now about this episode. Like I don't have anything planned, and I'm just gonna be honest about it.
Yeah,
No notes.
No notes.
someone
No
did
notes.
message me and said
No
they got to
notes?
this
No
episode.
notes. No notes. No notes. No notes.
Because they didn't know what it was from.
They didn't know
or,
what it's from. And they
Yeah.
were just like, that's where it's from. Yeah.
Yeah.
To be fair, this isn't our most prepared we've
Right.
been.
And so I'm trying to be upfront because it makes me look like I'm like, oh, I don't know. But,
Yeah.
but it's literally just a lack
And
of preparation.
Here's the deal. We can't even remember what we ordered for one of the most important collections of our lives. So,
Ooh.
and really the reality is that Brooke's parents are in town. And so it is a little bit exhausting to host people. Not that your parents are exhausting, but
Yeah,
just
we
like,
felt that after everybody.
yeah, it's just like,
It's a lot to people in your house. That's one thing. But then they're coming here
to experience the beauty and the amazement
of things
here.
here. So
And
we don't
it's-
just hang out at the house.
No, we don't, and we're just way more active and
Mm-hmm.
Daisy's top teeth are coming in. So she's been up in the middle of the night.
Which is
Sunny
very
wasn't
unlike
feeling
her.
well last night. So she was up in the middle of the night. And so
Yeah.
I just feel like we are feeling a little bit scattered for sure.
Yeah.
Um,
That would be accurate.
but there's part of me that's like, I just don't want to miss a week of the podcast.
Oh,
So
no, I'm
even
not
when
saying that we
feel
shouldn't record. I'm just saying,
that-
like, my internal self is like, here we're going to get real. The
Okay,
real
Let's do it.
is that I'm like, I find myself thinking in my head, T, why are you even asking me these questions? Because you know I don't have an answer. But then sometimes I do. I surprise myself.
Yeah.
So I want you to ask. I don't want you to not ask. But
You kind of feel like this a little bit.
I feel great. I ran 5K this morning.
Really?
No, I threw up in the shower.
really?
But I did have a topic that I was going to talk about, and so we'll just get into that. Basically, so I'm making an announcement. I'm a little nervous to make. You know what it is, so you don't have to clench your butt at all. Loosen that baby up. I could feel it.
No, I didn't know if you were going to say it.
Oh,
So that's why I was waiting.
my paintings, if you can see one behind, and then there's a bunch behind Brooke, they're for sale now. I made a website to sell the paintings, tjmasitas.art. Super nerve-wracking. What's crazy is like I sell things all the time, but there's something different about this
Yes.
that makes my butt clench just a little bit tighter than normal.
Credit or debit.
Credit or debit. Hopefully credit when you check out. And so the link is in the description. So let me just talk myself down a little bit, and then Brooke can encourage me that I don't need to do that.
Yeah.
So the painting started as 100% a hobby. Like
Yeah.
I did not have any expectation. Well, I had expectations that I thought I would enjoy it. I don't know if I've told the full story here. Yeah. So, but I'll just recap in case you're new or you missed that episode. So about over a year ago, I was at Integrated, which is a men's group that I'm a part of. We have 2 meetings a year, one in Austin, Texas, one in Colorado. And I felt like the Lord was just like, hey, TJ, you should start painting. I don't know what the topic of the day was. I don't know what session I was in, but I just felt, and this was when we still lived in Pennsylvania. So even further than a year ago. Yeah. And so I was just like, that seems like a weird thing to feel like is from the Lord. And so then I ignored it, like you do most things that come from the Lord, for too long. And, we ended up moving. We had a baby. We bought a house. We sold a house. We painted this house. And I still felt this like...
I love that you continue to put painting this house on the same level as all those other things. Because you do it. Every time.
I mean, it was a lot of work.
No, I know it was a lot of work, but it is funny to me
Okay.
that it makes the list.
Cried in a bank lobby. We've
Oh,
done
there you
other
go.
things.
There you go. Now the list is well-rounded.
We had guests. They left. Then more guests came. I borrowed my friend Ian's paddle boards. He's never getting them back.
We ordered scuba stuff, ordered all kid sizes instead of adult sizes, had to
Not
return it.
scuba
Not
stuff.
scuba, snorkeling stuff. Had to
Snorkeling
return
stuff.
half of it. Anyway, it's
Anyway.
been a full year.
It's been a year of a lot of things happening. And so I still felt that like, hey, you should paint from the Lord. Or just like, I don't know if it's from the Lord. I know, I'm going to say it is. It's just like one of
Well,
those.
it is, but
one of those
it's one of
con-
those
one
like
of those,
whisper nudges,
that
not
you just,
like you got a text message.
Right. It's just like one of those things. And I'm sure people have experienced this. Like you just can't shake it.
Yeah.
And I feel like when you just can't shake something, it's like conviction. Like, you know, if you've done something wrong and you can't shake it, that's conviction. Like the Holy Spirit is convicting you to go and ask for forgiveness. Like that. We all understand that. But then there's just like, I think God wants us, you know, Jesus said, I've come that you may have life and life to the full. And I do believe that God wants us to experience a full life on earth. And so I just couldn't shake this. And I was just like, all right, this is weird. So one day at my computer, I decided, hey, I'm going to just order a bunch of painting stuff. I have no idea what I'm doing. Like I went to art school my freshman year of college. I wanted to get into graphic design, but you had to like be an art major. And so I took my first year of college, I took some drawing classes. And then there was like one painting class, but we maybe painted on a canvas once. And I painted we had to paint like a scene at our college. And I remember painting outside.
So when did you paint the rat that used to hang in our basement?
Oh, that was a friend. A friend painted that. I just had
I thought you painted
it.
that.
Yeah. And so.
To be clear, the rat is a
Yeah,
human, not
human,
an actual
yeah.
rat.
And so I painted it. I had a painting class in college, but again, like we were painting on like, not on canvas. It was just like basic
Like the
painting,
artboard
like,
stuff.
yeah. And then there was like this one like random still life where everything was thrown into like a pile and you had to paint it. And so like, I'm not coming within this background of like, oh, I've done this before. I know what to order. I know how all this stuff works. I know exactly, like, it was just like, okay, I'm just going to type in painting supplies on Amazon. And for whatever reason, I couldn't shake the idea of like big canvases. If you can see the one behind us, it's 36 by 48 inches. It's a big canvas. And that's what I wanted to do. For whatever reason, that was like sort of it's just what I felt like I was going to do. So I ordered all these giant canvases, all these random supplies, and I started, and my first idea was like, I'm just going to paint while listening to a full album from start to finish, just to like get myself started. And so I started in the backyard. I told the girls not to come out. I was like super nervous, and I started painting, and Brooke walked by about 20 minutes in and thought I was painting a sunset from memory.
I was real scared.
And he got real nervous. You're like,
Yep.
I'm going to have to tell him he's bad at this.
Oh yeah, so bad. So bad.
And then I continued. She came back, and later she was like,
Oh, not a sunset at all.
not a sunset at all.
Praise be.
God. And so I just kept doing it, and it has done something to my soul and my life that I can't really comprehend. And so the reason I'm selling them now is because they take up a lot of space in our house.
Yes.
There's a stack of, I don't know if you can see the stack behind Brooke. But there's like
9 over there, 10 if you include that one, and there's
11, 12,
there's more.
13, because
Oh, I
some
can't
of
see
those
some
are
over
half,
there.
Yeah. And so I'm selling them. The price that is reflected in the sale, like art is so to the eye of the beholder. Art is so,
Yeah,
there's
I know
a
what you
phrase
mean.
for it. But mostly it's to cover shipping because
Shipping from here
shipping
is
from here was crazy
hundreds
expensive.
and hundreds of dollars.
So,
Yes.
but they are for sale, and the reason I want to talk about them, not just so you can buy them. Obviously, if you want to buy them, great. If not, no big deal. Is that like I believe that there are things in your life that the Lord is like pushing you into or wanting to call you out into that might seem so superficial or silly or non-important that would actually make you feel a more robust, full life. And I think, the phrase God wants us to have a full life and not just a busy life is such an important phrase for us to like have in the front of our minds, because we can so quickly turn our lives into a busy life. Like I could have easily painted once and been like, all right, I did it, checked off the list. Like it, I'm done, because like it takes time, it takes energy, like it takes coordinating. Can I go out into the garage and do it while the kids are and I could have just like had a million of excuses even once I started to stop. But I think that there's something sort of magical about what the Lord calls you into. And I've felt that. And I think the hope is like, if you end up buying a painting for your wall, or if you end up like, I have them all as wallpapers too. It's like a $10.
You mean
download.
like a download? Yeah.
My hope for them is that they would inspire people to listen to that, like that little whisper voice of the Lord that's saying, hey, why don't you try exercising more? Or why don't you go on more walks? Or why don't you find a hobby that you're going to love, and it's going to make your life more full and less just busy. And through that, you're going to see my goodness, and you're going to see my grace, and you're going to experience a new level of joy and intimacy with me over something that might seem silly. And that is my hope, that like, I'm not just having a podcast sales pitch for paintings,
Right.
but it's like, that was like, as I've done them over and over again and started to experiment. And now I feel like I have a vision for what, like, this first collection of paintings is called the hobby collection, because it was definitely just like,
I'm figuring it out.
I'm literally figuring it out and just like throwing paint against the wall. And I tried that actually. And now it's like, okay, now I have like vision and purpose for the next collection that I'm working on right now. And it like really excites me and gets me amped up to like do it every day. It's definitely become part of my rhythm in my week and almost in my day. Like my goal, the perfect scenario for me is like, I get to paint for 10, 20, 30 minutes with my cup of coffee in the morning.
Yeah.
And it's like, and that just like sets me up. I feel like it makes me more creative in other areas of life. It makes me more patient with the girls. It makes me more present with Brooke. And so, yeah,
Well, creativity works like that. Like, you do a sport or something, and it's like, or you're singing or whatever, like you need to warm up. Like that's real, and that's very accepted in a lot of scenarios. And it is the exact same way when creating like art or photography. I remember like, I wouldn't necessarily tell my clients this, but like the first 3 poses I would put somebody in for like senior pictures or even wedding portraits. I'm like, I'm not going to use these. Yeah. Like they need to get warmed up. I need to get warmed up. And so you habit stacking or whatever you're painting earlier into your day is actually really, really smart to then come create these, life-changing collections that we can't remember at all.
Almost too memorable.
Right. It's like you had to block it out because it was like, this is too much.
This is taking
I'm
up
gonna
too
circle
much of
back
my
to
brain
this.
space.
Yeah.
I will remember it later.
But I think just acknowledging, like, I get real bothered when people say, oh, it's okay, don't worry about it. You're so busy.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, and again, this is like me. I'm bringing my ish to the table in when I'm like, because I'm bothered by that. Mm-hmm. But like, I'm bothered because I'm like, first of all, don't project that onto me.
Right.
I'm not busy.
Yeah.
I've thought very intentionally about my schedule, and there is a difference between it being full and intentional and all these things and just like swirling around busyness. And again, a lot of people probably don't mean it as like swirly as I'm taking it. But that is culturally the thing, to be busy, or it's so like, slow down, don't be busy. It's everything is so extreme. Mm-hmm. I feel like, especially I'll use the internet, like just the blah of the internet. It's so windy out, isn't it? It's kind of distracting. It's like hustle, 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 or don't hustle at all because that's bad.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I actually think that like, shouldn't we just be intentional about what is on our schedules and what brings us life and what brings our families? Like there's so much goodness in, and that might not look super different. I might still be taking my kid to gymnastics.
Right.
But like the process that led to us saying, yes, this deserves a space in our life and rhythm and calendar, that adds to a full life that we are working towards, and not just like, well, our kids should do things, so
Right.
let's pick this and never address it again or like ask about it again.
Yeah. And I think I feel like this is, again, one of those episodes where I'm like, I don't have my total thoughts together because of sort of the last few weeks that we've had, and specifically because of the children not sleeping through the night. That
It is so hard
so,
to think or function when you don't sleep well.
Yeah.
And it is not a surprise that mostly mothers who don't sleep through the night for a very long time, like, kind of lose their minds.
Yeah.
Because it's very real.
Yeah. And so, but I guess what I'm really feeling, and sort of why I was like, oh, I think I want to talk about this, is like, I feel like there's, similar to you saying like, it's either hustle, or like, don't hustle. I feel like there is this cultural expectation that you should, I'm trying to figure out the right words for this. There is this cultural lie right now that you need self-care, which again, that's not a lie. Let me talk my whole way through this to make sense. You need self-care in the sense of like, you need a spa day, you need to get your nails done, you need to sit and binge watch 3 seasons of something on Netflix, you need to eat whatever you want. In
the name of like, I deserve this self-care.
I deserve this because my life is so hard. Like, I need to pamper myself.
Yeah.
And are there moments where that is a reality? Yeah. Like, you go on vacation, you pamper a little bit, or, you anyways, but there's this like, that is good and noble and true, which I disagree with. I don't think that's kind of self-care is good or noble or true. I think it is like just selfishness. And I think a lot of selfishness,
well, I think it's a Band-Aid over a way deeper issue. Yeah.
Self-care. Like, it's like, I just, that is culturally how it is. And we live as a culture as narcissists right now. Like, we're all, the camera is facing us all the time. Like, that is just a reality of the culture that we're currently living in. And again, like, I make my living on the internet. The camera is literally facing me right now. So I realize that there is some sort of, I don't know. I understand the irony in that.
Yeah.
But then I do believe that like the Lord has called us to take care of ourselves.
I mean, love your neighbor
as yourself. Your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit.
It doesn't just say love your neighbor.
There are, but I believe that this care and this care do not look alike. And so what I've realized is like the painting, which I originally thought would look like this, if I'm totally honest, which is maybe why I avoided it.
Okay.
Like, what are people?
You thought it would be on the side of like,
what are people going to think of me? And this is, my faults. What are people going to think of me that I'm, taking time to paint and I'm not spending time with my kids, or that I'm taking time to paint and I'm not working on my business? Like that was a reality. And what I've realized is that this type of care has the ability to make your life full and to maximize the way that you interact with people in your life. And it's so valuable. It has
like
and
a multiplying
so
effect.
Yeah. It's like I'm depositing 1 coin and I'm getting 10 back. Mm-hmm. And I've seen that as I've painted over and over again, that as I deposit these coins into this like moment that really matters to me and really makes my soul and my heart come alive with joy and love and peace, that, man, this is being magnified now. Now I have more capacity. Now I have more coins to be there for you, to do the dishes, to clean up. Like, and that is incredible. And so what I feel like people do in the name of, I'm going to take care of myself, is they do this, when in reality they should be doing this. And this isn't always easy. Like, it's not like, this isn't a challenge physically, but it's a challenge. Like,
the paint, you're pointing, for people listening who aren't watching, you're pointing at the painting.
I'm pointing at painting. And, it's not like I just am like, oh, this is going to be super easy. Let me just throw some paint up. Like, it takes thought, it takes practice, it takes determination, it takes consistency. Like, I've been talking about exercise. Same thing is like, exercise and eating healthy don't fall over here. They're not a day at a spa being pampered. They are consistency and working hard, and
It's a rhythm and
it-
it's intentional, and you're purposely putting coins there for
a future harvest.
yes.
And so I think,
Instead of like putting them over here on this
and again,
side and
if you
feeling
need-
like
if you go to the spa for a day, there is no condemnation.
No,
I'm
you're not anti-spa.
I've never done a spa day, so I don't know. Maybe
Right. Right.
But
We're using that as
I'm
like
just using that as like an example of just like, yeah, this might have this much value, but you're going to deposit a coin and you maybe get one back. Like,
well, because again, it's so hard. Like I'll speak in a broad brushstroke, which is like a lot of people turn to the binge watching or the spa day or whatever because they're at the point where they need an escape.
yeah.
And that's our issue with those things.
Yeah.
Have we binge watched things? Absolutely. But I'm
Yeah.
not doing it to escape from a life of busyness and swirliness that I alone have created.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that's where we're like, ugh.
And that's where I'm saying, like, if you feel like the Lord is just pushing you to try something or to do something, or like, I know, Brooke, you felt this lately. You're just like, I just need to start going to the gym. I just need to just push through the super
How much
pain
I absolutely hate it.
because you know that like it lands.
I will feel better.
It lands on this side and
Yeah.
not on this side. And for those of you listening, I'm using my two hands. One hand is
Not good.
and one hand is good.
It's good.
And so, but it's just like, it's challenging and it's hard and it's not convenient. But again, especially with the coin talk that we've had recently, to me, the painting has been this like what feels like an endless reservoir of coins.
Mhm.
Like, there are times where I come back and I'm like, I just don't like that one, or I don't like what I did, or I feel like I should have stopped or whatever. But still, overall, it's been this like really incredible life-giving experience. And I think that the Lord wants us to have those experiences. We don't always have those experiences following Jesus. And a lot of times we have really hard experiences following Jesus. But I do believe that he's a good father. And I want my kids, like, here's a great example. June loves the paddle boards. And today we took him out on the ocean, and like, it's not inconvenient to pack them all up and carry them out, but it's not the most convenient thing. Like, it's easier to go to the
It's
beach.
a little inconvenient.
It's easier to go to the beach without the paddle boards
Yes.
than with the paddle boards.
Yeah.
But I know as her father, she's going to come to life and just have the time of her life if I bring them. And
Yeah.
I want her to experience that. And so I think when God like has put something on our heart for us to like try or do more of, he is not doing it out of like, you got to do this. Like, it's more like, I know how much you're going to enjoy this. And I know how much life this is going to bring you. So I'm just going to keep asking.
Do you want me to bring the paddle boards?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. because it's going to be worth it. And I don't know. I just, again, I feel like, and I say this, if you go to the website for the paintings, I say this in this like little intro I wrote about the collection, that I can't really fully explain what it's done.
Yeah.
Only that it has done something beautiful to my soul. Like, the Lord has used this to unlock part of my heart that I just didn't know needed unlocking.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to encourage people to
look for that, be open to that,
Yeah,
listen for that.
And I know that that's something that's maybe a little bit easier for me to just like, try and do. Where like, Brooke, you've talked about like, this is not the easiest thing for me to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I still think that it's worth it. And I don't know, maybe you can speak to that a little bit, or maybe speak to that, what you've seen me go through with it, that you're just like, okay, yeah.
No, I think my last bit of a thing here would be, you said that you felt like you were supposed to do it for like a year and you couldn't shake it. That was your feeling of like, I couldn't shake it. Therefore I felt like it was something that like God was putting on your heart. When I feel like it was like when I felt like we were supposed to move here or other things in life, my feeling of that was from the Lord is not so much a I can't shake it, but it's how clearly I hear it. I don't mean audibly hear it, but like, it's probably no surprise to podcast listeners that like everything is swirling around in my head. And I often feel like I don't have anything to say. I can't get my words together. I wish I'd been more prepared. All those things. And a lot of that's very real about my personality. And a good portion of it is like the last episode or two, whatever that was, Trish talking about like the lies I believe. But that is how I always know when something is from the Lord, because of how crystal clear the phrase or words or sentence is. And I'm just like, yep, that wasn't my brain.
Yeah.
Because that was
Because
clear
when it's
as
your
day.
brain, you will.
Yes. And I'm not saying that there aren't things that I sort of like, I have my own thought and then I take it in prayer and then I do this and I talk to people. I'm not saying that it, like I can't, I include God in so many of my decisions and like things like that. I'm talking about like a separate, like I heard this. I feel like calling, not like a calling on your life, but like that's what it is for me. It's that it's so clear. And so I try to pay attention to that. And if what am I looking for? Like if your signal or your clue or your tell, there you go, is that like, I just can't shake it.
Yeah.
Mine is like, well, it was crystal clear.
And that would be a good thing to know.
And
about yourself.
exactly. And that's what I was going to say, because like you said, it is hard for me to find hobbies. It's harder for me to do a lot of things because of how my brain swirls around. But when I feel like something is crystal clear, that's when, when then it becomes and I can't shake it.
And us living here is the really the perfect sort of example of that, because for someone who swirls around so much, you think that moving to Maui would be something that would take years, decades, never type of time to happen. And it happened so quickly and so fast. And it just felt like, and you were people would just think and assume, oh, that was TJ. Like TJ was the one that like propelled that forward.
Right.
And that couldn't be further from the truth. I mean, was I into the idea? Absolutely.
Right.
But it was like, and it was because it was crystal clear.
Yeah.
That's good.
So I think like two takeaways maybe would be like to assess areas of your life or just have it in the forefront of your mind of like, is this busy or is this full? Sort of that like, which one, what does this fall into? Like as you go through your next week and you go through all your activities and all your things, like just kind of think about it. Like don't put a lot of judgment or shame onto which one it falls into, but just notice. And then also like, I like that idea of like, what is your tell that something is like a direct, what does Heather always say? A download.
Yeah. Yeah.
A download, like a direct download from the Lord.
Yeah.
And mine is that like, it was crystal clear.
And mine is I can't shake it.
Yeah.
And I've even had those moments, like I had that moment in the gym, like there was this guy working out and I was like, I feel like I should go say hi to him. And then he like swirled around. You're like, that's going to be weird. I'm just some random guy. He doesn't know me. Like, and it's like, I can't shake it. I got to go over there.
Right.
And I just went over and said, hey, like I asked him about the workout he was doing. And, and I said, all right, cool. Have a good day. And it was like, okay, that's what I was supposed to do.
Right.
I have no idea why.
Right.
But I could not shake it. And it's such a small thing. Yeah. This felt like a small thing. And now it's turned into something that's been incredible. And like, yeah.
Yeah. Well, then maybe next, if I can get my brain around it, maybe next week's episode can be
that other crystal clear
phrase that I recently got that I was like, that's an episode. Yeah. And I just haven't sat down to put, because that one needs real thoughts in advance. Yeah.
And we appreciate all of you listening to some of these episodes where it's just like, what are they talking about?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah, exactly.
Because I don't know.
I sort of feel like some of these episodes connect the dots, or they're like stepping stones from like this idea we're learning about to this other thing, and it all connects, but we need some like jumps to get there.
I like that pantomime. I'm also realizing that the exposure on the camera's turned up too high.
Yeah,
it's
way
not
too
set
high.
to auto, and now I feel like
we look like ghosts.
We really have to redo this, so appreciate the grace there as well. But yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks for making us part of your week. Once again, Tea of the Month is live. Use the code BeKind to save a little extra as a podcast listener. We got 14 tickets left for night 2 of our live event, Christmas Extravaganza Live. The summer collection has shipped, and the fall collection will come out on August 25th, and we will all find out what it is together, which will be an exciting time. And if you want to buy, if you need a new painting for your house, my paintings are for sale, which is
wow, that's quite the statement.
Terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
But it's great. I think life is full of a good full life is full of some terrifying moments.
Oh yeah, I mean,
And
I think
so-
that's why people resonate with calling themselves the butt clenchers.
Yeah. Because that reality is very true right now.
Yeah.
But thanks for listening. Thank you for making us a part of your week.
Okay, I love you. Bye.